So today we're kind of testing 3 products at the same time. We are specifically testing 2 products. The Elf Poreless Putty Primer. Brand new packaging here. And the Elf Instant Lift Brow Pencil in Neutral Brown. The third product that we will be testing, I have actually tested for you guys already on its own. That is the Elf Hydrating Camo Concealer. However, when I tested this product for you guys, I did not use a primer with it or a setting spray. So we got to see my thoughts on that without either of those. However, with how it performed, I feel like maybe it would be doing better if it was actually paired with a primer. Now, obviously, that shouldn't have to be a variable for a product to work right. Sure, if you're somebody with super oily skin or you have the mask rubbing right in this area, that's going to be more likely that if this product is just on its own, that it's going to wear off. However, I am curious to see how these two work together as a pair. So I figured we could give this product its own kind of review and test along with the eyebrow pencil. And then kind of see how the concealer works with the primer paired with it, if it makes a huge difference or not. So that is what we will be doing here today, is testing these 3 products out for you. So we are going to jump right into it. As you can see, I have a brand new package here of the Elf Poreless Putty Primer. It's supposed to be hydrating and a universal sheer shade. On the back it says, "This perfecting putty primer smooths the skin and preps it with squalane." I think that's how that said, squalane, to help moisturize and grip makeup for all day wear. The velvety texture glides over the skin, smoothing over imperfections for a poreless effect. This brand, or at least this product, is supposed to be cruelty-free and vegan-free. So this is what it looks like once it's open. Oh. Okay, so it's kind of like a balm where it warms to the touch. I don't know if you guys can see that. A little bit on my finger there. So being yesterday when I applied the concealer, the main areas that it wore off on was actually my nose. It stayed pretty well in my under eyes there. So I'm going to concentrate most of this in my nose T-zone area. See how it does. I mean, for our first impressions on how it feels, it almost feels nice and cooling. You can feel the hydrating going on there. Gonna really work that in around my nose, my nostrils. As I said in my last video, I'm somebody in the winter especially who blows their nose a lot. I have my body temperature change, get cold, get warm, my nose instantly runs even if I'm not sick. I also tend to get like bare spots sometimes right here on my cheeks. I'm not sure why that is. When I apply makeup, that just doesn't want to stick there, like it's resistant. Like I've applied some other product that's supposed to block it out in those areas, but I haven't. Doesn't matter if I exfoliate or not either, because usually in those areas it's not dry like my under eyes would be if my skin was dry, so I'm not really sure what the cause is. Okay, I'm just going to drag that outward a bit. Just a little down on the chin and around the mouth, just because, as we can. Okay. So, that Putty primer, I think it feels nice. Feels nice on the skin, doesn't feel heavy or anything. This will be the second day in a row of me wearing this concealer, so I suppose between the two we will see if it affects my skin at all. Gives me any acne breakouts or anything like that. So next I'm going to go in with the Elf Hydrating Camo Concealer in the satin finish. Just a review, or not review, but kind of a reiteration from last video. I am in the shade Fair Rose. I think it is the lightest shade they have with a pink undertone. So I'm going, splattered some. I'm going to take some of that. Yesterday I did 2 layers, so we'll see if having this primer on makes any difference. Apply it to this inner corner area and then up and out. Put a little on my eyelid here. Again, we're not color correcting today, just to give the effects of these products that we are testing. I'm testing. There we go. Then take the mini beauty blender, blend that out. Already up in my eye. Great. Also this time today, I'm gonna, once I finish layering this or whatever, however it goes on, once I am finished applying the concealer, blending it out, I am going to instantly set it with setting powder, since that's apparently what I should have done yesterday when filming the last video for you guys. And it didn't. And I think it made a difference with the creasing, but that is yet to be determined, so I guess we will see here. Okay. Okay, go in and blend this one out. I don't know what's going on with this side. It's like there's not as much product there, but there is. Pretty certain there is. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, well, I think maybe it's just how it dries. Because I didn't apply it in this order yesterday. I did one side and then applied, blended, and moved on to the next. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just drying quicker. Okay. So this side is blended as well. We're just going to go directly back into this side. Second coat on this side. So what I'm going to do now that I also didn't do yesterday, so we will see how the two products work is together, is apply my Makeup Forever foundation. This is one of mine. There's tried and true for me. We're just going to apply a little, kind of blend it out, mostly in the T-zone here. See how it interacts with these products. I just put some on the back of my hand. I'm going to go in, apply it with the Beauty Blender. I use the more flatter side of my Beauty blender for in my cheeks, and the more pointed side for trying to get in like the areas around my nose and things like that. I feel like there's a little separation right here, but I was planning on going in with some more concealer around my nose area anyway. So we're going to put on a little more concealer now. Try and blend that out, see if it makes a difference. Just right there. And this area that I'm applying it to is the area where I typically have some separation where it doesn't want to stay on my face. I don't know why. I can't tell if that made it better or worse, honestly. I feel like it made the separation at least look more blended, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Notice how with the, now that I had blended in the concealer and I'm kind of blending it all back together. Yeah, see, it's kind of starting to separate out more. I'm not sure. I suppose we'll have to see how this wears to determine if it was the foundation, if it was these products, because though I typically tend to have it just slightly there, it's not usually this bad. That's good enough there. Under eyes. Blend in that under eye there. Okay. Here we go with that creasing again. Okay. Going to go in with my setting powder right away. I didn't do that last time yesterday. I'm going to do that now and see if it makes any difference. Woohoo. Okay. That's on. Oh, actually, somewhere around the nose. So yeah. Look like that is not it. It is the setting powder, I promise. Okay, well that does that its own thing there. Just to add a little color back into my face, not part of the review. Go in with the butter bronzer. Now that we've added a little color back to the face, back to testing. Okay, we are going to add in this now. I'm sorry guys, I need to vape. This is a very intense process for me right now, not knowing how this is going to turn out. Particularly these brows. I could look a little Cirque du Freak in a moment. One of those people that has a hard time finding eyebrow shades in the medium brown range that aren't overly warm or not darker than what they say they're going to be, if that makes sense. Like, I've gotten medium, light to medium brown pencils before and they look more like dark brown. And right now, because I don't have dark roots, like dark roots going on, it just ends up being too dark on me, being that I have such a light skin tone. So, I do not advocate for vaping in the youth and teen and children community. Thank you. I approve this message. Okay, now that that's out of the way, it has a spoolie on the end, kind of a big spoolie. We'll see how it works. Brush those brows up. Yes, I do need to work on my brows again. Don't come at me over it this weekend. Maybe I'll actually get to work on my roots too. Wouldn't that be nice? Not gonna lie, I've thought about changing up my hair color here a bit recently. I have been blonde, seen myself as blonde most of my life. However, the upkeep with having a kid has become kind of a challenge. So we might not keep full blonde, but we'll see on that. Okay, so I'm going to try and apply this. Still be at a good angle for you guys. I apologize if it's not. I have a lot to contend with in front of me. I have my mirror right here, camera right there for you guys, and I'm trying to do this at an angle where you can see it and I just don't look weird and mess up my own brows. Oh no, I'm really liking it already. Like how it applies. I like the shade. It's not too warm but not too dark. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I think it's good. I think it's decent. I think it actually creates natural filled-in strokes. Like they actually kind of look like hairs in my bald spots out in the outer corners here, instead of just having a thick coat of makeup on. So that's really cool. Enough. Okay, I'm just gonna comb it through. Ooh, there we are on that. So brows are now on too. I have the 3 products we're testing on now. It's almost 3. Gonna do similar to last night because I do have to get up really early tomorrow, so I'm definitely trying not to stay up as late tonight. So 3, around 7-ish, I'll check back in with you guys on that. I'm going to put the rest of my makeup on for the day, and I will see you guys in a few hours for check-in. Bye! Okay guys, I almost forgot. I just wanted to show you guys up close and personal once before I go on my way with the rest of my day, so then you guys can see what it looks like just after the makeup is just put on. I like the brows personally. I think it made a natural looking effect in these outer areas here, whereby I'm a little thin and sparse on brows, so it doesn't look like I just have some wax eyebrow pen on my face. It actually kind of just makes it look naturally more filled in on its own, like they're real hairs. So that's a positive right there. As far as the face and the separation goes, I'm trying to look in the mirror at the same time here. That's why I'm like looking down. As far as the face and separation goes, you can't really tell, I don't think, but it's right in this area right here where it started to separate. Now, I put the setting powder on my under eyes and brushed it off after it baked for a few minutes. And I feel like that kind of blended everything together. You can, if you're really looking for it, you can see the separation there still. Otherwise, you can't really tell, at least for me, just because I don't have a lot of acne or acne scarring there. So I think it doesn't look bad. It pretty much compares to my products that I would normally use every day anyway. So here is what it looks like. Again, I will be checking back in with you guys around 7 o'clock and then a couple hours after that for final thoughts. So I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, so quick check-in for you guys here. As far as the eyebrows, they seem to be coming off. That was the only product I had used today. So am I totally surprised? Not entirely, but unfortunately I'm kind of disappointed that the staying power was not there like I hoped it would be. As far as the concealer and the primer, I feel like that is worse than yesterday. I'm having more off my nose today than I had yesterday, so I'm not sure if it's just a coincidence or if the primer just sucks. So I'm going to try and keep this on for a couple more hours for you guys, do a check-in when I get home, and final thoughts when I'm under better lighting. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye! Okay guys, I apologize. We are not in the same day. We're not even in the same week anymore when I'm currently sitting down right now filming this. I sat down to edit the footage I had of the rest of this video, and when I got to the end portion where I did my last check-in and my final thoughts, that there wasn't any sound. I'm not exactly sure why or what happened, but yeah, I didn't have any sound, and there was probably a good 10 minutes or so of footage there where you wouldn't hear a single thing I said. I tried to turn up the volume, I tried to edit it, nothing worked. So, with that being said, here we are, sitting here to, at the very least, go over my final thoughts on those 3 products for you guys. We will start off with the Elf Poreless Putty Primer. And here's what I'm going to say about that. I was actually really disappointed with that product. I have heard good things about it, and then I've also heard really terrible things about it. The concept is really good. I feel like it's something that could be built on. However, the staying power is not there. It definitely blurs your pores out, and it feels really cooling on the skin, and I really liked how it felt cooling on the skin. However, with that being said, once I paired it with another product in the Elf brand, their Hydrating Concealer here, it did not stay at all. This concealer did not stay on with this at all. So there's almost a 2-for-1 answer there on that. So as far as the Poreless Putty Primer goes, I was really upset how this product right here became worse when paired with one of their own primers. That, it pretty much just slid right off my face. I'm not really understanding. It looked like somebody took a freaking toboggan down my nose, and there was just no product after wearing the mask there all day, even after having put on setting powder. So for me, and this product here being worse when paired with a primer, but much less a primer from the Elf line that this product is from, that is highly disappointing to me. So unfortunately, the Poreless Putty Primer is a flop. Again, I think it's a great concept that it could be built on. However, that specific product did not make the cut for being on top. Getting over to the second part, my bad. Getting over to the second part of this concealer review. As I just said, I feel like it was worse when paired with the Poreless Putty Primer. However, since then, I have also used it with other primers, and it does work better than it did when paired with the Poreless Putty Primer. So I definitely think in that instance, the culprit there was that product, the Poreless Putty Primer. Do I think this concealer is the top of the line for any concealer, high-end or drugstore? No. Do I think it's top of the line for even a drugstore? Yes. Now here's why. I feel like it didn't make my skin look overly dry even when paired with the setting powder. I feel like the staying power when this is on its own is mediocre at best. However, when paired with other primers, it's pretty decent for a drugstore product, depending on how I set my makeup. If I only use a setting if I only use a setting powder, like the Derma Blend setting powder I have here that I have used before, I feel like it stays on better than when it's by itself. When I put a setting spray over top of both of those, I feel like it's even better as well. Same can be said when paired with other primers. One of the primers I feel like it works pretty good with is this NYX Pore Filler. I feel like it's the same concept as the Poreless Putty Primer, however, the consistency of the product is a little bit different. One that it was just mediocre with was this Master Prime. I feel like if you're not going to be wearing the mask a lot, have anything rubbing on your nose there or anything like that, that this does the trick, especially when paired with other setting powders and setting sprays. So my final thoughts on this product is, though it's not on the on top of the on tops, it is not a flop, it is on top. To get to our last product here that we tested in that video, it was the Elf brow pencil, as far as this product goes, I didn't mind the spoolie. It's bigger than what I'm used to, but it still does the job, and it's not too thick where it just drags out all the product away from where you have placed it. Like, you actually have to go in and work with it. So that was nice, not having it just go over to the outer corners. As far as the size of the tip of it, I wish that it was a little bit more of a micro brow pencil. I see what they were trying to do here, kind of make it a middle of the road thing. However, I feel like for me personally, at least, when I get out into this arch area here, now into the tip, it makes it really hard with the shape of my head because it dips right there after you start to curve down with the brow. My temple forehead area there dips in, so sometimes it's hard to create a nice crisp line in this area, especially when I'm using a thicker pencil tip like this. So as far as that goes, that is one thing that I wish was different. The shade range I feel is pretty on point. I think I had got, it says neutral brown on the end here, which I felt was pretty on point. I feel like this is almost like a light to medium brown right here, not too warm, not too ashy. So I personally like that as far as the shade range. As far as application goes, it was one of those products that wasn't overly waxy, whereby it looked like you just literally went and painted in your eyebrows with some type of paint or something, or stage makeup that's even thicker, things like that. So as far as that goes, I liked the consistency of it. I liked that when you use it, it's not a product that you have to like warm up to your skin in order for it to not be clumpy or go on in the same intensity as other spots. I know personally I've found some products whereby I really like them. However, I might start out on this inner corner of this brow, get to about the middle of it here, and then do the same thing over on this side, and you can tell already that there is a slight variation there in how intense the product is and how it applies down. So I have to be careful to make sure to watch my pressure when putting on the product, because I have to start out heavier over here and then start to gradually get lighter over here, and by the time I go out to do the outer corners in this area here on both sides, it starts to naturally go down a little bit better. So I can end up being too heavy-handed if I'm not careful with it and how much product I apply to a specific area. So just to keep a natural looking brow, that's something I have to be cognizant of. One more thing, the application process of it. This isn't what I have on right now, so I can't give you an up close. However, I like that when using this product, when you go in to fill in the sparse areas, which for me is right here in this brow arch up top, that it actually goes on in such a way whereby it looks like it's natural there. It doesn't look like you just went and filled in the area. It kind of just naturally blends in with the brow hairs, or at least with my brow hairs. So that was something I personally really liked about this product, is it didn't make me look like I had fake eyebrows on. It made the blend there be a little smoother, which ultimately helps when going to apply a secondary product, whether it is a powder product like the foolproof brow powder that I use on a regular basis for you guys, or the Wonder Brow liquid brow gel here. They call it a brow gel, but I mean, I feel like it's a 2-for-1. So ultimately, I feel like that's one of the nice factors there with that. So ultimately, was this Elf brow product on top, or was it a flop? I feel like it was on top. I actually think it is on top of a lot of drugstore brow products I've used before in the past. So I highly recommend this product out of all 3 of the products here. And this was definitely my favorite, and I have used it multiple times since I recorded the original portion of this video for you guys. So this was on top of the on tops for this video, then followed up by this, and then the Poreless Putty Primer was so terrible, I actually returned it. And I don't do that often, even with products like this that are middle of the road that aren't always the best for like high sweat conditions, things like that. I still try and work with them so then it doesn't cause a negative trickle down in corporations and how it affects lower end employees like myself. But that one was so awful, I couldn't use it at all. And I really apologize, Elf. I hope you guys don't come for me over this, or anybody that really, really loves your brand, because I like other products here, obviously. That just didn't happen to be one of my favorites, and I'm not going to make a lie in order to endorse a brand, because in the long run that's going to end up shooting me in the foot and it's going to look bad on you guys for hiring people like that. So those are my personal thoughts on it. Obviously everybody has different experiences. That's just one take on it, and maybe somebody else found a reason or a rhyme to why it works better for them. There could have been something I did wrong. I mean, maybe it needs to be applied with a brush over a beauty blender sponge. I don't know. I just did it based on how my normal makeup routine is, and I don't like to deviate from that too much as far as application process, because then I don't really get an honest sense of the product and how I would use it. But that's just me. That's just my impression, and I'm only one person, so again, hopefully somebody else had a better experience than I did. But that is all I have for you guys today. Again, I apologize about that footage. I really wish I could have figured out a way to make the sound be produced for you guys and usable, but I just didn't have a way or knowledge on how to do so, so I had to refilm. But I will be uploading this within the next 24 hours for you guys, and you guys will then catch me in my next video. If you like the review on these products, don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. Till next time, bye.